can't stop us. Unblock my chakras. Knocked up is a synopsis. Been having dreams of fishes. This delivery is expected for the superstitious. I'm in the cut so much, I need super stitches. Gut the catfishes. All I see is cake by the ocean. I used to see Section 8 housing up and down the street. Texas warrant round up for an ounce of weed. Fights every other week. Skin darker, the summer sun. Texas heat. Hobo jungle. Creek. The train was close. I can hear the horn when I sleep. My first job was Curly's Market. It was on the east. $50 a week. Don't ever say talk is cheap. Cause when you
Yo.
What up, man? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Peace, IT. How you doing, my bro?
I'm blessed, man. How are you?
Just out here, man. First time seeing you face to face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, right?
First time conversation. You know what I mean? Hopefully you've been blessed in these pandemic times.
Is my stuff giving any type of feedback or anything? Let me know.
Like a slight little bit.
Give me 1 second.
I bet.
Okay.
Hand, got the headphones in. Hand. Bless. But yeah, T. I mean, Mental Arts Dojo week 15. We got the down verse going on. Kind of started the live off playing the track. Really digging the beat, really digging the flows. It's kind of, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff going on. So usually how we start this breakdown off is we get the guests to kind of kick us a verse, take us through the stream of thought in creating the piece. Techniques and stuff, and kind of breaking down the lyrics to kind of show us what sort of things you got going on, IT. So floor is yours.
Okay, cool. First of all, my name is Pat G. You know what I'm saying? In the SOSA world, I'm known as Pat G IT. But this verse right here is my verse from my single called Down featuring the Wild Prophets. Shout out to them on the East Coast. Shout out to my guys. And I'm actually from Texas. I'm in Texas. I'm born and raised in Texas. I live in Texas. So this is, that's what I do. But so the song is like my verse. They can't stop us. Unblock my chakras. Knocked up is the synopsis. Been having dreams of fishes. This delivery is expected for the superstitious. I'm in the cut so much, I need super stitches. Got the catfish. All I see is cake by the ocean. I used to see Section 8 housing up and down the street. Texas warrant round up for an ounce of weed. Fights every other week. Skin darker, the summer sun. Texas heat. Hobo jungle. Muddy shoes from the creek. The train was close. I can hear the horn when I sleep. My first job was Curly's Market. It was on the east. $50 a week. Don't ever say talk is cheap. Because when you see your partner's mama, we was taught to speak. Respect will never be obsolete. I'm social certified. I rep the north side till I die, Lord. Yeah.
Bars, IT.
Yeah. It's like that.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of Texas references going on. I'm not from Texas, so I'm not really booking every piece, but it's kind of like I don't know if this verse was kind of like a shout out to like an ode, or however they say ode to like your city, kind of to where you grew up, kind of. So it's super dope. Getting a lot of things about you coming live. If you want to kind of run us through the structure of the verse, like when you're writing this in your mind, was it like, yo, I'm gonna make a Texas-based verse, I'm gonna go ahead and get some bars? Like, how did you kind of reach this piece?
Okay. Well, I know one thing's for sure. I was, Nas dropped the album King's Disease not too long ago, right? And I was listening to the songs, and more specifically, like, I mean, Lupe and Nas are my favorite rappers. Like that's Lupe, Nas, and Jay-Z. Like there's never gonna be any better to me in my mind. But it's just like those are my favorite, So I was listening to his album King's Disease, and the song Car 85. I'm not sure if you heard that song.
I might have heard it, but like,
it's the one with Charlie Wilson on it.
I might have not heard that one then, maybe.
I know you didn't, because if you heard it, you'll be like, I know exactly what song you're talking about. On me. So I was listening to that song, and Car 85 actually, just within itself, Nas is just talking about how he grew up, and I don't even know what the heck Car 85 is. I guess it's one of the taxi cabs or something like that. The cars I used to drive in or whatever. But he's describing it, and I can see it in my head. Nas is notorious for being able to put pictures in your head and just telling stories. So you know me, I want to take the best of each MC that I study, and I want to kind of add it to me and make it my own thing, you know? So what I did was I was like, you know what, let me write my next verse about where I'm from, where I grew up, where I'm raised, you know, born and raised. And so I'm actually from Temple, Texas, and that's an hour north of Austin. I live in Austin right now. I've been here for almost 7 years. And so, you know, just Temple, Texas is, it's not a, I always tell people it's a small city. I don't say it's not a big town. It's a small city. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're big enough to have like a mall. We have a really big high school. You know what I'm saying? What else? We got a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We got 2 Chick-fil-A's and whatnot. You know, whatever. But you know, so that's the thing. So I was like, you know, let me describe where I'm from and where I'm at. So in the beginning, I was like, you know, they can't stop us. Unblock my chakras, and like knocked up is the synopsis. Been having dreams of fishes. And that was me actually just starting the verse. I really didn't know where I was going with it at first, but I knew I was going to tell the story of my, you know, like where I was from or whatever, or what I saw when I was there. And so, so I was like, I had this line in my head. So sometimes I'll like, I have this note in my phone. I just have random lines. So it's like random lines that I think are kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you do that or not, but it's just like random lines that I think are kind of cool. So, yeah. And so I had this like Section 8 housing, right? Section 8. And so all I did was add like the C on it. So it was like C Section 8. You know what I'm saying? So I like not just like literally like visually C, but like C section, like with the like a pregnant woman. You know what I'm saying? Like the actual pregnant woman. So
like delivery.
Exactly. And so that's kind of how it started coming apart. I was like, I was like, knocked up is the synopsis, been having dreams of fishes. And I was like, this delivery is expected for the superstitious. I'm in the cut so much, I need super stitches. And like, if you know anything about like superstition, like they say women in the family have dreams of fishes if somebody's pregnant, right? And so that's kind of what I was talking about. So like this delivery, like, and also delivery in the pregnancy, you know,
Delivery,
that's what I was thinking about.
Delivery, you coming through, delivery, pregnancy.
Exactly. Yeah. I know you know more than anything. Okay. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause you up there. You different. You know what I'm saying? You're different. I know. Socially different. And so I was like, been having dreams of fishes, you know, and so they dreams of fishes. Like, this delivery is expected for the superstitious. I'm gonna cut so much, I need super stitches. Gut the catfish. So we're going back to like cutting fish or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I'm still kind of having that same vein.
The same scheme, the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. Same scheme.
Okay.
I was like, gut the catfish, all I see is cake by the ocean. And so you may or may not know about this, but like a while back on like Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that, you used to always have these like really nice like things. It'd be like a picture or something like, or no, it'd be actually like a let's say it was like an iron. Like literally, I got an iron right here. Like, let's just say it was an iron, right? And they got an iron sitting on the table or something like that. But when they would go up to it and they would take a knife and they would cut it and it would be a cake.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, what the heck? So I was like, what the heck? And they would do it all the time. It's like, oh, this looks like a book or something like that. Like, I got a book right here. It's like a book. And they would go to, they would cut it and it's a cake. So I was like, man, that's crazy. So I was like, so I was just like, gut the catfish. Gut the catfish. All I see is cake by the ocean. I used to see Section 8. And so I'm still in the same scheme, but I'm like layering it at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know, gut the catfish. All I see is cake by the ocean. And so Cake by the Ocean is actually a song by one of the Jonas Brothers. I don't even know. But, you know, when you look at ocean and sea, you know, they're interchangeable or whatever. So,
right. And
by the ocean,
cake is in bread. Cake is in the cutting scheme. Cake is in like, okay, that piece right there. And then the ocean, by the ocean, I used to see Section. Okay.
Section 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see you. Okay. It's
the light's coming on. I see it.
It's the flip of the word, basically. It's like the same phrase twice, in a sense.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And so that's when I took that little bitty line that I wrote in my notes or whatever, like C Section 8 or whatever, or Section 8. I was like, I used to see Section 8 housing up and down the street. So now I'm going into where the actual verse was actually supposed to go to in the beginning. So I used to live in
my bad.
Section. No, go ahead.
So you got the C-section 8 ties back to the delivery scheme, and at the same time, the word 8 kind of ties back to the cake scheme in terms of munching. Okay. How's now you're taking it to where you need to go right now. You better give off the Texas, the tempo. Okay. I'm just breaking it down for the people. You know what I'm saying? Because
you're right.
There's a lot of like cool little techniques. Okay.
And even the technique. I mean the procedure of a C-section is just draws back to what I was saying in the beginning, like pregnancy, knocked up. So it's just kind of coming back to it. So I used to see Section 8 housing up and down the street. Like up and down our street was like Section 8 housing. I know we've lived in Section 8 housing before. Like it's just up and down. That's the neighborhood I grew up in, right? I used to see Section 8 housing up and down the street. And so Texas warrant roundup for an ounce of weed fights every other week. So I used to see also, like, remember, I'm trying to kind of keep in the same vein and show people what I'm seeing. So I used to see, I've seen people's doors get kicked in because they're like, they sell weed and stuff like that. And there's this thing in Texas called Texas Warrant Roundup, Texas Warrant Roundup, right? And so I used to see people's like doors get kicked in and stuff like that because they know they were selling drugs and stuff like that. So I've seen that stuff happen before. Now, a really just side note to that, I thought this was cool just because I thought of it in within the verse, but I was like, Texas warrant roundup for an ounce of weed. Now, if you think about Roundup is actually a weed killer, like a spray.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, and that was I don't want to say it was lucky, but it was like I just happened to be able to tie that in there. So that's just something that I was like, that's kind of cool. So like Texas, on me bars. So Texas warrant roundup for an ounce of weed fights every other week, and it's like sometimes, we're chill on the north side and stuff like that because we're really all like a family. Like especially, I used to live on 6th Street. It's like anywhere from like Main to like 10th Street or whatever, 8th or 10th Street. Like everybody kind of knew everybody in that area. And the only time we had any issues usually is when people were coming from like the east side or the south side and like trying to fight people and stuff like that. So I've seen it where summertime, the block is lit up, cops all out there, everybody fighting and stuff like that, mamas and daddies and everybody fighting. So I'm just kind of still giving you a visualization of where I'm at, like as a young kid. And so Texas warrant roundup for an ounce of weed fights every other week. Skin darker, the summer sun, Texas heat. And so everybody knows Texas is hot. Texas gets really hot during the summer. I actually I'm a chocolate guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a chocolate dude. But actually during the summer, during the summer, I actually get a lot darker than what I am now just because I'm outside during the summer. So that's just, I was just skin darker, the summer sun, Texas heat. Hobo jungle, muddy shoes from the creek. And so hobo jungle, like people that lived in the area, if you keep going east, there's like these old, like, I guess it was like an old airport field or something like that, but it's like a swamp area, right? Excuse me. And it's like a swamp area, just really run down, trees, bushes, everything. There's like a little swamp and everything. And then there's these like homeless people used to live out there. So like I would say hobo. So we called it hobo jungle. So I was like hobo jungle, muddy shoes from the creek. So when you had the way to get over there is by crossing over this creek, right? So that's why I said hobo jungle, muddy shoes from the creek. The train was close. I can hear the horn when I sleep. So when I'm asleep at night or when I'm waking up in the morning, I can literally hear that train. The train was like 3 or 4 blocks away, and so I can always hear the horn, like all the time, right? It's now I'm older. It's almost peaceful to listen to it. Like train or ocean waves or something like that, But train was close. I can hear the horn when I sleep. And so my first job was Curly's Market. It was on the east. So I live on the north side, right? And like maybe a few streets over is like basically kind of considered the east. And so Curly's Market was this meat market that's still in Temple and that everybody goes to on that side of town, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody in Temple goes to that meat market. And so like that was my first job. Like that was where I first started working. I'm in the back, like folding boxes. My first day I worked like 4 hours and I'm in the back sweating in the Texas heat, just dying back there, right? Just folding boxes and stuff. And it was kind of cool because it was like, I've always wanted to kind of make my own money and do my own thing. I've been pretty independent. My mom is a single parent of 4. And so I was like, man, I asked my mom for something. She ain't got it. I asked, hey, can I get this? She ain't got it. I get old enough. I'm like, okay, I can start working for my own money now. You know what I'm saying? So let me go get a job. And so I'm like 14 or 15, and they're this really like type of like a home environment. So we knew the people that worked there, and so we just asked him, and he was like, "Yeah, man, just come." You know, I worked my way up from the box folder to the dishwasher to the. I think right before I left that job, they were teaching me how to cut the meat. So that's that's pretty cool. You know, just kind of seeing that I can progress.
The deli cutting. Oh man, that's like 3 tiers up, bro. It's not.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Job, bro.
It is.
Damn, yo.
And so, you know, I learned a lot of valuable lessons at that job. Just like I said, you work hard, you can get where you want to go, or you can at least progress, right? And so it was tough. I learned a lot there. But I was like my Curly's Market. My first job was on the East. I used to make $50 a week. I used to work like maybe 6 hours, like a week. You know what I'm saying? Probably not even 6 hours. I think I worked on a weekend like 2 or 4 hours, 2 hours, and then 2 hours on another day. So maybe like $50 a week. And they used to pay us out the register, right? So, you know, on Saturday, every Saturday, you know, you being 15 years old, you got $50. Come on, man. You rich back then, you know what I'm saying?
Fact.
15 years ago, I'm 30 now, but 15 years ago, you know, that's, you know, the oatmeal pie joints is still 25 cents back then. You know what I'm saying? It's easy money. That's all day. It was like $50 a week. My first job was Curly's Market. It was on the East. $50 a week. Don't ever say talk is cheap, because when you see your partner's mama, we was taught to speak. Now that was just, once again, it was just like kind of finishing out the verse, but it's like we were taught respect. You know what I'm saying? Like where we're from, and it's like I remember the older lady that used to work at Curly's Market. It was like she's like everybody like real big on respect. It's just like she know everybody. She know everybody and their mama. She know everybody and their kids. So it's like when I would go up to places with my mom, she was always like, you know, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. So I learned respect at an early age, and it just carried with me, you know what I'm saying? And so whenever we're on the north side and we see like people, parents and people, mamas and stuff like that, we're taught to speak. Like you speak, like you see them, you say something to them, you know what I'm saying? How you know, have a good day, wave and say hi or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I was like $50 a week.
Too, because it's very, like a lot of, sometimes, you know, you kind of want to duck, but if it's somebody like somebody's parent, you got to make sure you kind of giving that piece right there, right?
Exactly.
That's an ill bar. That's like something where it's like a subtle thing, but it's just like a gem, you know?
It really is, man. And that's what whenever I kind of wrote it and kind of said it, I was like, you know, the phrase is talk is cheap, right? You know what I'm saying? People want to see actions. People want to see, you know, what you can do. But it's like they say talk is cheap, but they taught, you know what I'm saying? But when you see partner's mama, we was taught to speak, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, make sure you say
kind of a double piece, because you're doing the action of speaking, but also the talking. Okay.
Facts, bro.
Facts.
Yeah. So speak. Right, and I was like, so I kind of just tied it into like that lesson. Respect will never be obsolete. Respect will never be something that it doesn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Right. Respect will take you a lot further than disrespect will, right? You know what I'm saying? And even with you, like I've never seen you before. Well, not face to face, or like not, you know, face to face on the screen or whatever. But it's like we have a mutual respect for each other just because we're human beings, and just because we the SOSA people. You know what I'm saying? ITs. You know what I'm saying? So it's respect will never be obsolete. And then I had to give a little nod to SOSA. It just so happens that you asked me to do this, but it was like I had already said it in the song. But I was like, I'm SOSA certified. Like I've been through the ringer with SOSA. You know what I'm saying? The 2 years journey, and SOSA really helped me learn how to be more intentional. That's probably the biggest thing I learned with SOSA, is being more intentional with how I write and what I say. I used to always think my words were like good, you know what I'm saying? I thought what I was saying was good, but it's like intentionally saying these things to make it hit different. And so this whole verse started from me listening to a Nas song, and then I was just like, yo, okay, let me incorporate that into my raps. And anybody who is from Temple that has heard that song knows exactly what I'm talking about. You may not, you know that, but it's like, you know what I'm talking about. And for me, Nas, I've never been to New York, but I plan on going one day. And so when I go there, I want to go and see some of the things he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? See the things that he was saying or whatever. So that's just what I did. So I was like, you know, I'm SOSA certified. I rep the North Side till I die. So anytime I go anywhere, I'm throwing up the North Side all day, every day. That's just how it is. And it's a Texas thing too. Texas is how it is. We gonna throw up our set. You know what I'm saying? But so that's just how it is. So yeah, that's how the verse came about. And I'd say I'm definitely much more. No, I'm much less orthodox than most like people that write. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But this was one of the verses that I really enjoyed. And I just took it back to the old hip hop days. You know what I'm saying? Just giving
Yeah,
straight bars, just
and
not
I
too
feel
much
like
hype around the verse or whatever.
I feel like you it was a nice verse because it was like lots of flow changes, things being said, clever wordplay, um, idioms, but it seemed at times you kind of simplified pieces to let people know exactly what you're talking about. It hits. There's a
Yeah,
different layer from being where you're from, right? Now, for me,
yeah,
the what's the word for it? Like the parallels for me is in my city. I also grew up on the north side, and one of my first
yeah,
jobs was working at a market. That's how I got my
yeah.
experience. You know what I mean? Because not everybody can handle that deli machine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts,
so
facts.
seeing things like that is it's ill because not being from Texas, it's like, yo, I get this piece. If for any
Yeah,
reason I'm in Temples, Texas, I see Curly's mark, like, yo, Dad, let's pat you. Like, you know what I mean? You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
You already know.
Right? So that's super ill. Now, here's the thing. I know this is from the track called Down. Is there a second
Mhm.
verse of yours on this track as well that somehow
No,
relates to
so
this? Or no? Like, what's going on with
no,
that?
no, no. So what I wanted to do with like I'm kind of changing the way I release music, and I want to just try
Mhm.
to drop a track every month, right?
Mhm.
And so one of the things too I realized that I haven't really done yet, excuse me, is I haven't really collabed with people that I want to collab with. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And if I tell you the story about the Wild Prophets, they're from New York, but I had a chance to perform in Toronto like 3 years, 2017 actually. I had a chance to
Mhm.
perform in Toronto.
Mhm.
So at that festival, I'm in Toronto. I'm on the bill. The Wild Prophets on there. I meet those guys, bro. Like from day one, we've been like this. Like we
Mhm.
super tight and everything. And just in 2019, we were just all in San Diego because I helped them get booked for a festival called the Wonderfront Festival in San Diego. So it
Mhm.
was like I've seen their careers grow over the years. They've been really crazy MCs since the first day I met them. They're
Mhm.
really humble guys. They know how to have a good time, but they're very Like once again, they're very respectful, and they had like, I mean, it was just me and my DJ out there, but they had like a whole they had like 10, 12 people out there with them. It was like they invited me into their little circle, and it's like they looked after me and they took care of us too, even when we were in San Diego. So it
Mhm.
was like really cool. So I was like, man, I got to get the Wild Prophets on something, and that's why I didn't write any other verses to the song. But
100%.
that's how it is.
And yeah, I'm kind of just sometimes what happens is you got two verses. We do the breakdown. It's one piece of it. There's a second piece that kind of elevates in terms of adding more layers and structures and stuff. With last week
Yeah,
we had TRPIT who kind of had like a 3-part verse. We broke up
yeah,
part 3. We broke down part 2. So it was like just checking and seeing right now.
gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
That's actually dope because I'm from Canada, so you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, word
Toronto's
up.
not that far away. Like it's kind of is, but not really. Like we know about it, like that, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, okay. So you got this verse now. Usually, when you approach your records, do you approach it the same way that you went with this one, or was this one very intentional in the way, like Pat G? If somebody doesn't listen to Pat G, for example, right? Is
Hmm.
this how you rap in general, or is it a different pen for the different moment, for the different time, the song, the beat, the structure? Like how does Pat G approach his pieces?
Yeah, so I mean that goes back to what I was saying about Sosa. I'm much more intentional now. So
Mm,
with this piece, I was going in with the mindset like, okay, let me take this back to hip hop. Let
mm,
me give them bars. Let me tell them where I'm from. Like
mm,
that's it right there. So I try to keep it simple. And I realized I used to feel like I was writing stuff that was more complex. Like I was like, people. I guess I was writing with other rappers in mind, where it's like,
mm,
no, just write what feels right to you, write what goes with the song, write what goes with this. And so with this particular verse, I was like, you know what? Let me just do it like this. Let me do it like this. And so now when I approach a record at all, I try to have a theme for it,
mm.
right? The authorial intention, right? And so
Right,
I try to
right,
have that
right.
like okay, you know what? Let me tell them about my time whenever I got hurt. Let me tell them about a time where I was happy. Let me tell them about a time where let me tell them a story about whatever. You know what I'm saying? But this one it was like,
Mhm,
okay, let me tell them a little bit about where I'm from. So if you ever go to Temple and you see these things, you'll know.
mhm. And what was I gonna say? Um, and yeah, to play off that intention piece, I know even with myself, that was a big piece. Like a lot of times you write raps just to rap. like, yo, I'm gonna be the nicest, I'm gonna be the illest. Start just trying to be on that doom flow, you know what I mean? Just saying whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But I feel like to be able to peel that back and do it precisely, very intentional, very trying to get a point across, you're trying to teach something, you're trying to portray something. It's just a lot more, takes a lot more skill. Once you kind of master that, if you do free flow, it's all good, right? But that was dope with this, man. I feel like you bodied it, and
Appreciate
I feel like even the sample, or I don't know if sorry, my bad. I'm not.
No, it's a sample. Yeah, it's a sample. Yeah.
but that piece, right?
Yeah.
Super dope. I like how you ended the verse off, kind of going into the chorus. I feel like a lot of like dope rappers do that. I think Nas does that a little bit, where he kind of kicks that piece in. And I know even because I follow you on Twitter, right? So I know, like, I see like you're a devout Christian, so it's kind of dope that your faith kind of plays into this verse. Me knowing that background, I can kind of like see a little bit more into it. So that's super ill when you kind of incorporate that piece into it. It kind of helps shape Pat G as an individual, kind of, you know what I'm saying? And super dope verse, I see. Is there anything we didn't really touch up on that you kind of wanted to share with us too on that front?
Nah, man. I mean, you know, just shout out to everybody. Shout out to my boy Pedro on there. Be relentless. We don't just talk it, we live it, man. That's how we do it. But I just want to say I appreciate you for allowing me to have the space and share the space with you. I know I've seen some of the other things you do, and it's just like allowing people to really be able to break down their raps and stuff like that, or what they do, period, is a really cool thing. I think the conversations are what people need to hear. And so, you know, thank you for that. But you know, I love rap, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just doing my best, and that's it. That's all I can ask for.
And for me, you know, like I tell this to every guest I see, like for me it's dope because as a rapper, when I see other rappers break down their works, it's like I'm just learning. Like it's like the dojo for me. Like I'm sitting here like, let me pick a few things up from here and there, you know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
So yo, you know what I'm saying? If you see me leveling up out here, just know I'm playing. But thank you for joining us, man. Thank you for bodying it as always. I'll make sure to go check out all that stuff. And I just wanted to say to you, because it's the first time speaking face to face, just seeing the work that you're doing in your community, super ill. Seeing that you're like a coach, kind of taking care of kids and doing all types of stuff, man. That's inspiring to me. I feel like a lot of communities need people who can do that, who can kind of reach back down and try to inspire people. And just seeing your Twitter, seeing what you're doing, everything is kind of it's ill. You know what I'm saying? It gives that warm feeling of like hope and stuff. So I just wanted to like just give you that, you know, shout, and hopefully we'll speak soon. I mean, damn, COVID, you know what I'm saying?
I know, right?
100%.
Well, you know, out here in Texas, you know, so we finna open all the way back up. I don't know what y'all doing in Canada, but we finna open all the way back up out here. We out here wilding. I'm with it.
Man. You better stay masked up, bro. But yeah, my bro, take care,
Yeah, all love, IT. Talk to you later.
Thank you so much for stopping by. Peace.